just so that everything's natural, you know?
Mhm.
Yeah. So I have well, let's start over. Hey Carly,
Hello, good morning.
good morning. Yeah, well, how's it over there?
Um, it's interesting. I think so I'm in Brooklyn.
Yes.
I made the choice to stay in New York,
Mm,
and a lot of people have been reaching out to check in on me,
yeah, I
which makes
bet.
me think it's a lot scarier in the news than it is in reality.
Oh,
So,
okay. Because it is scary in the news.
yeah, and
Yeah.
honestly, it I mean, we're still able to go to the grocery store and walk around and
Mm,
order food from restaurants to take out, and people are out and about. So other than the social distancing and being remote,
right.
it doesn't. I feel very grateful in that no one I know has been impacted.
Yeah, you look healthy.
I feel good.
Good, good, awesome.
How are
Well,
you?
Carly, tell us. Oh, hold on. Tell us a little bit about who you are and who you work for and work with, and just so that our people know, because I think now they're putting a face to the name. We
Hmm.
always said our charity water representative says, and when we make announcements about what's happening with charity water and Echo,
Yeah,
but now
yeah.
they can put a face to it. So this is Carly, guys. Carly from Charity Water. Go ahead,
Hi, I'm
tell us a little bit
Carly.
about yourself.
Yeah, of course, Carly Yoshida. So
Mm,
I've been with Charity Water for 2 years now,
yes.
and I work on our key relationships team. I work with families, individuals, church communities who support us so generously as Echo has done. And yes, we're so grateful for you all. My goodness. I'm from California originally, so West Coast person. I'm from
Mm-hmm.
Central Valley,
Let's
but
go.
went to school in LA. Go
Yeah.
Bruins. You've got any
Oh,
UCLA alum
you
out
went to
there?
UCLA. My wife went to UCLA. Mm-hmm.
Really? Uh,
Yes. That's how
Did
I met her.
you
Yeah,
really?
I was speaking at her Christian club.
Oh my
Yep.
gosh.
No, no, but it wasn't
I
creeper
love that.
status, I promise. It wasn't the creeper pastor who's like, hi, let me pray for you.
Oh my gosh. Which
No,
what
no.
which student group was it?
I think it was Korean. Uh, it's called KCM. I don't know what it stands for. Korean Christian Missions, I guess.
Okay.
Ministries, probably
Okay.
ministries. No,
Wow.
Korean campus minute. I don't know. Anyway, she was part of that. She became a Christian in college.
Okay.
So she was a young Christian, and I had been invited to speak, and I saw her, and I was like, "Oh my God!" And but then, I didn't do anything. I promise, I didn't. I didn't. This is before Facebook,
Uh-huh.
so there was no way to like stalk her in any
Yeah.
way. So I just had to wait and depend on God to like allow us to meet again. And sure enough,
Mhm.
over maybe a year or so, we finally met again. And yeah, and that by then I was like, oh, I'm not gonna lose my chance. And anyway, this is not about my dating. This is not about my relationship. But yes, she went to UCLA.
That is amazing.
Yeah.
Great
What did you
ways.
study?
I was an English major, English
Oh, there
literature.
you go. There you go.
Yeah.
So
But I
you,
would
yeah,
say, oh no, I always say I majored in extracurriculars.
yeah.
So,
Well, I was a studio art major.
oh wow.
So basically, I didn't do anything in college. Yeah. Yeah.
No.
I took black and white photos in college. That's what I did. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Well, now, like you said, I know you don't want to make this all about you, but now I'm so curious how you went from studio art to leading a church.
Oh yeah. So I was always in ministry. I was ever since what, 18, 19 years old. I was in church ministry, like
Yeah.
youth groups and stuff. But I thought, man, I want to learn other ways of communicating
Yeah.
other than like, the oratory and like written.
Mhm.
So I went into art thinking that, man, I really want to expand that side of me to
Yeah.
communicate. And I loved it. I fell in love with it. But like you fall in love with something and then you realize real soon, like, yeah, I'm not gonna be able to make money off this. You know, like
Yes.
you
Yes.
realize real soon, like, yeah, I'm not a genius in this area, and so uh, I'm a let's just say I'm a fan of it, and I appreciate it. But
Mm-hmm.
it was always for the purpose of communicating like deeper values or deeper truths.
Yeah.
And but around maybe age 25 or 26, I knew my place, my lane was in the realm of walking alongside people in their spiritual walk.
Yeah.
And so I decided to learn how to be a pastor.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's
How
amazing.
about you? How did you go from UCLA to New York
Oh man.
and Charity Water of all things? Yeah.
Yeah. So well, if there are UCLA alumni in your church community, there's an
There are many and they're so proud.
event.
Yeah.
Then they'll be familiar. There's an event called Dinner for 12 Strangers, where as a
Okay.
student, as an undergrad, you get to go have dinner
Mm.
at a local alum's house and just meet a new community of Bruins. And
You know,
so,
that sounds like a plot to a horror flick. A
go to
dinner with 12
Peter's house.
strangers. Whoever makes it out alive gets admitted to the school.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow, that's so true.
Yeah.
Uh,
So you went. You
I
went.
went my
Uh-huh.
freshman year
Yes.
and met a woman who was a fundraiser for Children's Hospital Los Angeles, CHLA,
Oh. Mm-hmm.
and spent the whole evening talking to her about her career and her work. And
Wow.
I could not believe that that was this woman's job, was to
Mm.
build deep relationships with people and ask them to support a mission that she really believed in.
Okay.
So after that, I went and interned at the Children's Hospital in the Central Valley where I'm from.
Yeah.
And then my first job out of school was at Children's Hospital Oakland.
Oh, really?
I lived and worked in the Bay for a few years.
There you go.
And for me, I have always had a heart for women's economic independence and preventing
Mm.
gender-based violence and
Mm.
issues that really revolve around women and power and safety.
Mm-hmm.
And so I wanted to go more in the direction of women's issues in terms of my work. And uh,
Mm.
when I learned about Charity Water and the way that water really impacts women's lives,
Yeah. Yeah.
women and girls, I just knew that that was the right place for me.
Mm.
So, and it really is a women's issue. It's women and girls who aren't able to go to school or take on
Yep.
jobs because they're collecting water for their families.
That's actually what got my daughter involved. She's 13 now, but when she was much younger, she did her first charity water campaign.
Mm-hmm.
And it was after watching one of the charity water videos, she was like, "Dad, are you serious? There's girls that can't go to school because they have to go get water. This ain't fair."
Yeah,
And I was like, "Yeah, man." And so, I think you saw that video I sent you a while
that's
ago
right. I
where
forgot
yeah,
this.
and
Yeah.
we're like, let's get a little glimpse of what it feels like. And so she carried a gallon of water on her head, and we walked not even a mile, and she was just like, "This is so not right." And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I agree with you. It's such a justice issue
It is.
and not just a health issue,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. So there's so many things you guys tackle while
Wait,
doing.
sorry.
Yeah.
Real quick, are you heading out? No. Oh, okay. I was just curious. All right. My boyfriend is here.
Hi, boyfriend.
Hi, is he leaving? So sorry. I'm so sorry to interrupt you. You were saying
Yeah. No, no. So you went from there, and then you found out about charity water, then, and then you got in. You just said, I want to work there."
Yeah. Well, so I was living in San Francisco and
Mm-hmm.
had always lived in California and didn't
Mm.
want to be that Californian that never left
Yeah.
because I
Yeah.
know my dream is to end up in Southern California. So
Oh, I see. I see.
so I moved to New York and then was working remotely there, uh,
Mm.
which was my worst nightmare as an extrovert. Um,
Oh,
and so I started looking for jobs in New York and had
I
always known
see.
about Charity Water and applied,
Yeah,
and it all worked out.
that's so great. So what if before we get into like stuff with Echo and Charity Water,
Yeah.
I wanted
Yeah.
to ask you, what is everybody like when we look at Charity Water, it's
Mhm.
like it's at least for me when I see it, it's one of the most effective, um, transparent,
Mhm.
innovative organizations. Um, you probably went in with this idea of like, man, this is a pretty awesome job, right? What are the things that are like, wow, it met your expectations or it went beyond your expectations?
Mm,
What are some things that are like, even working for a company or an organization like this,
yeah.
there are still some things that we have to face like everyone else,
Mhm.
right? And what
Yeah.
did you learn during this time?
Yeah. It's
Because
a great
I'm telling you, people look at Charity War and they're like, "Oh my God, that's the place to be. That's
question.
the place to work." But what can we learn from there, even if we're not there?
Yeah. Yeah. It's a great question. So when I made the move to Charity Water, I was working at a really interesting organization called Sama Source.
Mm,
Um, and Sama Source does digital skills training and employment for youth living below the poverty line in East Africa. It takes
wow.
really bright, talented young adults who are living in slums in Nairobi and in rural parts of
Mm,
Uganda and employs them in digital work, online work.
wow.
And um, I was there for a few years, and the slogan or one of our taglines was "Traditional charity is dead." at Sun.
Mm,
And so when I was looking at Charity Water, an organization with the word charity in its name,
mm-hmm,
I had a lot of hesitations around
mm,
international aid and um, the effectiveness of traditional charity.
yes,
And,
yes.
I was very much coming from a place of it's about work and transforming the for-profit sector and
Mm,
empowering people instead of giving a handout.
mm-hmm,
And
mm-hmm,
so I was impressed by Charity Water's transparency and their marketing ability, but I didn't know as much about their on the programmatic side.
mm,
Like what does the impact data look like, and
mm-hmm,
is it smoke and mirrors, or is it actually a
mm,
a long-term sustainable solution that Charity Water is offering these communities?
mm-hmm,
And I think that has been to me the most exciting thing as I get to know our programs team and really dig into the impact data that we've been collecting for the past few years now.
mm.
Um, I was really pleased to learn that that foundation is just as solid as the storytelling and the marketing and the transparency with financials. So,
Yes, what I'm hearing is the integrity that you found
mhm,
even after joining, because sometimes it's a letdown, isn't it? Like you go in and you're like, oh, it's not what I expected. But that's
right.
what's fueling you. That's what's keeping you
Mhm,
inspired. That your organization is what it is. It's what it says it
right.
is. Yeah,
Right.
and I think that's really what touches many. I know it touched me because I'm like, the way your founder does his work,
Yeah.
the way you guys are so transparent, so connected to communities, and so empowering of people, the way you guys even your finances, the way it's
Mhm,
separated.
yeah.
um yeah, there's our church, one of our values is intentionality,
Mhm,
that if you want to love somebody or something, you have to be intentional.
yeah.
And I think Charity Water lives that out. It's very intentional about everything, like
Mhm.
everything. It's literally everything is designed with intention, and so
Oh, yes.
which tells me there's a lot of love behind it.
There is.
Yeah, that's really cool.
And that
What?
has
Yeah.
been, I mean, like you said, I think what shocks me is the design and the care that goes into our internal communication.
Mhm.
So
Oh,
things we do just for the staff, there's about 100 of us now. Um,
okay.
and when we do, town halls or we
Mm,
just had our annual well, our holiday party, but we had it in February.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And everything is so thoughtful and well designed and
Mm,
beautiful. And to me, it's just incredible. I'm like, this is not even for the general public, but there is so
yeah.
much love from our leadership for our team,
Wow.
uh, that everyone feels cared for.
Wow. You know, if I can ask, there might be some folks that might watch this. I have about like 10 people that will watch this. Okay, I just want you to know.
I
So
appreciate you doing
yeah,
this.
it's still 10 people, Carly. Um, what if there might be some young folks who are wanting to get into nonprofit work. What
Yeah.
would be some of your warnings or encouragements or
Uh-huh.
advice?
Yeah.
Maybe
Yeah.
one thing that they can hold on to.
Hmm. Oh my God. I would say do it.
Yeah.
Don't be scared. Don't let the thought of making less money than your friends scare
Ooh.
you away.
Mm.
Because at the end of the day, it is so worth it to love what you do and to wake up
Mm.
every morning and be excited about it.
Wow.
Um, and I've seen a lot of friends who have said, I'm going to start a tech company or work in finance and work at a for-profit for a year or two, and
Mm.
then move to a nonprofit. Um, and I have yet to see a friend make that move. And I
Yeah.
get
Yeah.
everyone comes from a different financial situation, and some people don't have the choice or
Sure.
the privilege to
Sure. Sure.
make that sacrifice
Mm.
um, and work for a nonprofit. But I've also just seen a lot of people get trapped by the golden
Mm.
handcuffs. So
Yeah.
I would say if you know it's what you want, do it now and don't.
Yeah. Oh, that's a great word. That's a great advice. Yeah, follow the passion. I mean, my pastor used to say to
Mhm.
me all the time, Brian, money follows vision. Vision should not follow money. Hello, are you there?
Oh, you
Yeah.
froze for a second. I heard money
Okay.
follows vision.
Yeah, money follows vision. Vision doesn't follow money. You shouldn't be a minister who chases money. He was basically
Hmm.
telling me like if you have a passion for God and people to love people, the funds will come. So don't. Oh man, I'm frozen again. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Sorry. Is it me or
Hmm.
you? It's
Yeah.
it's it's New York. It's not California. Hold on.
It
Okay.
probably is me.
Yeah. Anyway, so oh man, what's going on here? Okay. Let's see. Are we okay now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, cool. So anyways, yeah. So what I'm hearing is yeah, people who really pursue what's on their heart, they get there if they're tenacious
Mhm.
about it, you know.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, well, how about we talk a little bit about um, Charity Water and Echo.
Yeah.
You want to do
Yep.
that?
I would love to do that.
Okay,
And I would
so,
love to thank you. I mean,
huh?
I will say this many times, but I would love to say thank you. Your
Oh
church
yeah,
has blown me away over the past few years.
yeah. Our people are amazing.
Absolutely incredible. This
Yeah,
level, we do not see this level of generosity very often. So thank
really.
you.
Well,
Hmm.
we're excited. It's so funny because I think we're looking at the 14 projects and we're like, man, how do we double this? You know,
It's
it's
amazing.
it's so fun. So we're the Rwanda one, the three.
Yeah, the
uh,
3 school projects.
Yeah, that's in phase three, is it?
So that I was just looking into that, because you are due for your completion report at the end of this year. So
Wow.
what that
Okay.
means, yeah, and the exciting thing is that means most likely physical construction is complete
You mean
because
right now? It's
mhm,
already completed.
right
What? Uh-huh.
right now is around the time where projects are being finished up, which means that there are hundreds of kids running around communities with clean water in their schools. So
Wow.
thank you.
Wow.
And so right now, our local partner is in the phase, or would be in the phase, of collecting photos and data around the projects.
Mm.
Um, the interesting thing is that Rwanda is in a nationwide shutdown right now. So they are under complete lockdown
Because
uh,
of the virus?
to stop the spread of coronavirus.
Okay.
And so we, our programs team has been in touch with all of our local partners. And
Mm.
right now it's just a bit too early to tell how this will affect our timeline. So
Sure, sure.
we're expecting delays because in countries like Rwanda and Nepal, people can't leave their homes.
So what
So,
happens to folks like that? Like, for us, when we're
yeah,
stuck at home, we have water.
right.
So for them, they can't do their walks to their wells or whatnot, right? What or do they?
So that's the interesting thing. A lot of the places where we work are so rural. We're hoping
Uh,
that one, they'll be a bit more shielded from the spread of the disease because they're
yeah.
communities that are hard to reach. And
Mm,
because they're communities that are hard to reach, much more difficult to enforce a
mm,
stay at home, shelter in place quarantine order. We're seeing a lot of the major cities in these countries being shut down.
I
Um,
see.
but it's something that we just don't know. And we're trying to
Mm,
get more information from our local partners um, to know, yes, how is this affecting the communities that we're working in?
yeah. So there could be a little bit of delay in Rwanda getting the final reports in that GPS. So you're saying when we get that GPS someday, we're
Mhm.
able to zoom in from the Google Maps
Yes.
and actually see the
Hmm.
well?
Yeah,
That
you
is
can zoom in.
crazy.
You can see. I love looking at, what are there, um, like big natural landmarks or big cities that you're near. So
Mm,
it's pretty incredible. And if you go
wow.
to Charity Water's website and
Hmm.
go to our completed projects page, you can do that now and look at other people's projects.
My God, that's amazing. I love it. But because of this virus, you're saying most likely the other projects that we're part of will probably be delayed, yeah?
We're anticipating delays
Mm,
in construction implementation, mostly because we just don't know how long the
mm,
um, the shelter in place orders will last. Will it be weeks or months? Um,
mm,
and and we don't know how devastating this will be for the countries that we're working in.
mm,
Um, the hope and the good news is that a lot of countries in sub-Saharan Africa have experience in controlling pandemics and
mm,
epidemics, um, and have had success in stopping the spread of diseases before.
mm.
But at the same time, the healthcare infrastructure isn't there in a lot of countries. And I was looking at the list of countries that Ekko has generously supported this year. Uh,
Mhm.
and Madagascar, it's one of the poorest countries in the world. It's an island,
Okay.
but they have cases right now, and we
Oh, they
just
do.
don't know how they do. And they've shut their borders
Mm.
since, but we don't know how it's going to affect the infrastructure there.
Yeah, yeah. But either way, when this thing passes, they're gonna need water. They're gonna need this fresh water, right?
Exactly.
So,
And either way, we are continuing our work and we are
mm,
continuing our commitment to fund our local
mm.
partners. Um,
What's really interesting, Carly, is that when when you watch the charity water videos and stuff, the diseases that are attached to dirty water
yeah.
and the amount of people that it's killed or affected, it's
Hmm.
way more than what this virus currently has done.
It is.
Or even the potential of it. Like we at least know we're at least everyone's on top of it now. At least maybe not US, but in other countries are on top of it.
Yeah.
But with water, it's
Hmm.
a continual threat
It
if it's
is.
dirty. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it?
And
Yeah, go ahead.
well, a threat that we always say is completely preventable.
Yes.
We
Yes.
have a cure, we have a solution, and
Yeah.
it's a matter of mobilizing the
Mm.
resources to implement that cure.
Right. It's like having the vaccine for the coronavirus
Hmm.
and not being able to access it.
Exactly.
And oh my God, I know, I can't imagine. Is it safe to say that these wells that we are part of and that people are part of through Charity Water, is it safe to say that these wells will last maybe a generation or two, if not more?
That's a great question. So this is something we've been talking about a lot as Charity Water
Mm,
matures as an organization. We're let's see, 14 years old now,
mm-hmm,
uh, and one of the number one questions we get is, so how long do these projects last?
mm,
And a lot of this infrastructure is built to last about 20 years or more.
okay.
The thing is, we invest pretty heavily in sustainability and maintenance programs because
Mm-hmm.
we want them to last forever.
Forever,
So
yeah.
about 5% of project costs are dedicated to supporting some sort of sustainability program. And it looks different in every region where we work. Sometimes we are
Mm,
training and equipping local mechanics. Sometimes we are starting an insurance pool within the community so that if they
mm,
need a repair, the community can pay for it.
mm-hmm.
But our goal is to ensure that these projects do last for multiple generations. And
Yeah.
that's something that we are collecting data on right now, and
Mm,
we just haven't been around long enough to know.
mm-hmm.
But I will say our first projects in Uganda are functioning, which we're really happy about.
Yeah, yeah. You mean the ones we're part of? Or you mean just the ones you guys did in the
Oh,
beginning?
Charity Water's very first projects.
Oh, you mean they're still going?
Yeah.
Yes, yes, yeah, yeah, yeah. Because I would think that that the sustainability of the water needs to be long enough for it to impact the generation that's coming up,
Right.
so that they can go to school, they can have, started businesses and
Hmm.
other other equal rights issues, and you know what I
Yeah.
mean, like.
Yeah.
So that'll be at least for me, that'll be one of my prayers for you guys, is that these wells will last
Thank
generations so that they don't have to worry about that part of
you.
their
Hmm.
lives. You
Hmm.
know, well, on that note, what can we pray for? For Echo, if you knew you had a church backing you up, what would you ask us to pray for in terms of Charity Water, maybe your staff and you, our representative? How can we pray for you guys? How can we support you guys?
Thank you for asking that.
Mm,
Um, so right now, a lot of my personal prayers are
mhm,
for our local partners and the
mm,
people doing the work in the countries that we serve.
okay.
So if I could ask Echo to pray for one thing, it would be, please pray for our partners, that they
Mm,
remain healthy and that they're able to continue with construction and community training and
mm,
all of these activities that are needed to bring clean water to people.
yeah,
So my heart is very much in the countries that we serve and how this is going to affect them. Um, and yeah, a prayer for our leadership team that they remain hopeful and positive. I
mm,
know they're under a lot of pressure right now, and
mm,
um, there's a lot of uncertainty around how coronavirus will affect charitable giving.
yeah.
Um, so prayers for
Oh,
hope
yeah.
would be appreciated. Thank you for
Mm,
asking.
yes. And how about you?
Oh, prayers that I don't go insane working from home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
let, let me guess. Are
Uh,
you an extrovert?
oh, yes.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I feel so blessed because really the people who support Charity Water are extraordinary. And the past couple of weeks, we've had so many of our supporters step up and say, I'm with you. I want to cover the gap. I want to make sure that Charity Water will continue to um, be
Mm,
able to implement your mission and bring clean water to communities over the next few years. And to me, so I've had a lot of hope and inspiration because the people
Mm,
who support us are with us. So,
yeah. Well,
and
thank you, Carly. Yeah. Go
well,
ahead.
thank
And what?
well, no, and I was just going to say, and I very much count everyone at Echo in that bucket of people. So thank you for your generosity, and just the fact
Yeah.
that we will be able to fund projects that you funded this year is so,
Yes.
so important. So thank you.
No, thank you. We are proud to be a part of what Charity Water is doing around the world. Um, yeah, and it's our joy just knowing that there'll be people. One thing we were saying is, it's one thing to bless people that you know,
Yeah.
but it's a whole nother level of faith and joy you experience when you bless people you don't know.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
you know what I mean. And maybe you'll meet on the other side of all this, but
Yeah.
on this side, you don't know who they are, but you know that God loves them
Mhm.
and that God cares for them. And
Mhm.
so it's a spiritual discipline I think worth practicing for every Christian is
Yeah.
blessing those that don't look like you, that don't live near you, that
Mhm.
don't believe in what you believe,
Mhm.
because that's being a true neighbor,
Yeah.
right? And so yeah, anyway, so we're just so grateful that Charity Water is giving us the ability to partner with what we believe God wants to do in the world, which is
Mhm.
love on people.
Mhm.
It's so simple, isn't it? But we make it so hard.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So true.
yeah. So,
It's true.
well, thank you for your time, Carly.
Thank you. Oh my God.
Yeah,
Thank you, Pastor Brian. You and your team
it's
are so incredible. Thank you.
our team. By the way, you're like a star. You're like a celebrity. Our team loves you, and you know,
Oh, I'm obsessed with them every day. I'm like, oh, I need to
my
email somebody.
gosh.
Hi.
When are you out here next?
Hopefully soon. Hopefully
Okay,
soon. I was trying to come actually mid-April, but we've obviously
sure.
suspended all travel. So
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, first thing I'll be getting out to California to see my family and say hi
Yes.
to our
Well, if
charity
you're
work.
ever near, come by.
Thank you.
We'll
I would
take you
love.
out for some good food in Orange County, you
Yeah,
know. And if
yeah.
you're ever around on Sundays, come by. We'll introduce you to the church.
That is one of my
Mhm.
goals. I would love to
Be
come
really
more
cool.
places.
Yay. You know what we gotta do, Carly, is when the data point, the GPS thing is done.
Yeah.
Dude, that'd be cool. And then you come and then you do it. You're like, and guess what? Look at the screen, and then boom, like the satellite zooms in. Yeah, that'd be so cool, man. Oh my
Oh,
goodness,
okay.
that'd be
Let's
so
make it
fun.
happen.
Let's do it. Let's do it. I'll get Heidi on that.
Ah, I would love
Yeah.
that.
Well,
Well,
thank you so much.
thank you. And thank you
Yes.
everyone at Echo.
Yay. We'll be praying for you guys.
Thank you so much.
Okay. Bye.
Have a good weekend. Bye.
Bye.